Suits on the Angela, which was a great pick for him.
Yeah, basic skills, it increases his physical attack as well as his critical rate. So this is really important. They want to provide as much room as you can for patrolling.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about the Hong Jung as well is that the second ability can be used as a bit of intel, right? You can drop it into bushes. If anyone goes over it, you get some shield as well. So again, it kind of is a little bit of a lifeline for this otherwise immobile hero. But again, a clash going on in the mid lane.
Yep, much better wave clear coming in from the side of N37. Is it going to be the main difference maker? That's the big question here, but it looks like they will not disturb too much of the jungle buff just yet. It should go into the hands. No, stolen by Suits instead.
Yeah, N37 giving a bit of payback onto the side of Influence Rage. They were into their jungle now, but Ken, there is a lot of damage going on to Influence Rage here. Velo looking pretty low, but I don't think they're going to commit to that one as the minion waves are quite equal in that one. Another technical difficulty.
Personal preferences, right? So you obviously play in the jungle role for this game. What do you think, Raikou should be doing at this point?
Yeah, it's quite too early on to try and guess that, right? There is not a lot really happening in this game too. It is a best of 3, so if N37 do lose this one, they're out of the competition, unfortunately. So you can kind of see them playing quite cordial here.
Yeah, and Raikou here has other ideas. He wants to put some pain onto 9 Norvas. More importantly is to have that wave management, right? That pressure coming in so they can make the rotations instead.
Yes, a 2v1 dive here could have been an opportunity, but they don't want to take it just yet because Sony's not quite level 4 yet, which is going to be when he gets the Conductor of Souls come through, which is really going to alleviate any sort of tensions within these team fights and able to sway them onto the side of Influence Rage. But Velo and Arash going 1v1.
Yeah, so far, farm is pretty even with just a difference of maybe 600-700 gold. Nothing too big that can't be, disrupted.
No, yeah, nothing just quite. Yeah, we're going into the 2-minute mark here, Kieran. In the last game, we had 2 kills on the board already for Influence Rage, and right now, it's a stalemate.
Yeah. In terms of itemization, maybe a slight advantage going to the side of Influence Rage, right? I think sustainability is definitely one of the strong points on the side of Influence Rage, and here we go. Path of Passing going to be laid down just for Sony to check things out.
Yeah, nice little dash away there from 9 Norvus, trying to keep himself out of danger because you don't want to be caught by this Organ, especially when Kaiser and the Lady Chen were pretty much close by there. It could have been an easy rotation to turn around a 3v1. Just not a lot going on already in this early game. The gold lead is not that too far between these teams as well.
Yeah, farm lane, they try to put a bit of pressure onto the T1 on the bot. Looks like they did manage to get quite a bit of damage onto this T1, and that's really important, right? Because if you can establish map control, the objectives are easier for you to take. And at this point, we might see Cozy having a bit of difficulty in the mid lane, but likewise, Influence Rage going to try and apply pressure on the top against 9 Norvas.
Yeah, they really don't want this Dharma to shine, right? So they don't want the truth to come out. Those truth mantras can be pretty deadly going into these team fights. But speaking of team fights, we do see Kaiser go in with the teleport mechanic, looking to try and set up this next neutral objective that's up in 16 seconds.
Yep, so I don't think they're going to try and push the buttons too much, right? The neutral objective at this point, very important for them.
Yes, not quite anything happening here. Again, just for a few seconds still until those neutral objectives are up, Ken. And they are now activated. Raikou a lot closer to that Tyrant than they see N37. But okay, maybe getting caught out here.
Oh no, not an ideal situation at all for the side of N37, but it's perfect for the side of Influence Rage. This is going to open up the doors for the neutral objective. Tyrant's going to be the objective of choice. But Suits, no, not going to be able to steal it. And that's committing on 4 members from the side of Influence Rage. They do successfully secure the Tyrant.
Yeah, we've kind of seen effort here from 9 Norvus trying to take that T1 up into the clash lane as well, but I don't think it's going to do enough damage to just get it, but he is committing to it. We do see Sony going up there to try and counter the T1 takedown. It looks like he is very successful in doing so, but yes, neutral objective going over to Influence Rage is really going to help them in these next few team fights.
Right, we might see the compounding interest of the effects of taking that first Tyrant. Hopefully, they will be able to secure a much bigger advantage. Artillery gonna be dropped down, but here we go. This is going to be the Blazing Brilliance. Who can outlast the damage? Not gonna be of any difficulty at this point for both sides, right? But here comes the burst. It is going to be the Infinite Vastness. The Dragon takes over. He is gonna take flight, takes to the skies, backs out. But Influence Rage, they're looking for another opening on the bot lane. Here comes the Vanguard. He catches eyes onto Raikou. And it is going to be a stalemate. They don't want to overcommit just yet.
No, yeah, they don't want to lose any sort of life here because they could lose the T1. But again, more of an engage for Yekin.
Yep, artillery going to be dropped once again by Petroni. This T1 looks to be in danger at this point. They might not want to defend this too much. And here we go, Invincible Warrior going to be dropped down. Chasing in onto Suits as well. Will not be able to get the kill, but they get the T1 and they escape. Another step forward for the side of Influence Rage.
Yeah, a bit of a T1 trade across the map there. We see that 9North is able to get the one in the clash lane as they lose it in the farm lane. But if we look onto the side of Entity 7, right, they are able to take that T1 into the farm lane as well if they really just want to commit to it. But we are seeing some great rotations here for the side of Influence Rage in the mid lane, a little bit tit for tat up in the clash lane.
Yeah, Sony's job is really important here. He just needs to keep 9Norvas in sight and making sure that he has to be in that lane all the time. And in the ideal situation, it would be Influence Rage winning that 4v4 because Suits has to commit when he uses his Blazing Brilliance.
Oh, speaking of committing.
Oh, yep, the burst comes in. The beast form is going to be dropped there. But here comes the disengage as well. They just want to clear the wave. They don't want to overcommit. But here comes the knockup as well. Dragon going to be unleashed. They will take flight. But is it going to be enough? They do stop it. But there's a lot of damage. Cozy falling a bit low. They will back out at this moment.
Yeah, a little bit of a bait there for a boss. It was looking like Raikou was going to be able to get into that backline. They're still not finished here, Kin. There is a bit of a 4v3 going on right now.
Yep, they do give the burns, and at this point, a Vanguard does successfully secure his own buffs in the jungle, but they don't really have a lot of ultimates to play with, so safety is a concern for the side of Entity 7 at this point.
Yes, Suits sitting in the bush. Oh, okay, very close. Velo almost lost his life there. We see a little bit more of an engage into the T2 on both sides for Entity 7 and Influence Rage.
Yep, so both teams going to mirror each other's moves. They will get rid of the waves coming in for the respective lanes as well. Suits may be able to get a kill here. No, there's not enough damage. And 9Norvas does jump in. Hang on. The Lao is falling a bit low. The flash is going to come out. It might not be enough. It's going to be the first win. First kill in the fight. They have to back off. But Influence Rage, they like what's happening here. They take another step forward. 2 kills only in the span of 8 minutes. But it is still Influence Rage in control.
Yeah, Influence Rage kind of trying to influence the enemy jungle here as well. Entity 7 trying to gain that Azure Golem for themselves, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do it. It is Raikou picking it up and stealing it for himself. But this Hwang Jung Petroni on this hero has been a solid pick because he's able to just to sit in that back line, just like we probably see here as well into this engage.
Yep, same situation. Artillery going to be dropped as well. Influence Rage, they want to force the issue here. And it looks like Cozy will be dropping down the flowing side, gets the freeze as well. But at this point, no kills just yet. It's more about the map control. Bilal, he's going to keep eyes onto 2. But at this point, nothing too big happening yet. We're waiting for the big stuns that are coming in. They catch onto a Vanguard, and that might be too much damage. Gale's Benediction going to allow him to stay alive a little longer. The life bars are dropping. The turnaround is coming as well. But the Blazing Brilliance does not hit the mark. It could be bad for the side of Entity 7. Here comes Artillery. A Cozy gets another kill. They will trade out 1 for 1 at this point. But everyone is falling low on the side of Entity 7. They do get a kill onto one of the members on the side. I think it's Sony. Sony takes a fall against a boss here. And at this point, it's not looking too good for the side of Entity 7, even though they got a couple of kills.
I don't know. I mean, a 2-2 trade there for Influence Rage and being able to get into that T2 into the mid lane is really going to open up just even more means for the side of Influence Rage to get into the jungle now. But that was a fantastic fight there. It was really like long overdue, right? Because we didn't get the first 2 kills until about that 7-minute mark, which is a stark contrast from that game 1, right? We had 2 kills at 2-minute mark. So again, Entity 7 playing very safe, but I feel like Influence Rage has found a chink in their armor.
Yep, it's hard to deal with, right? And 37, at this point, they have given quite a bit of farm. They funnel it successfully into the hands of Boss, but they just can't find the physical positioning to get the perfect team fight.
Yeah, the one thing I like about this Huang Zhang pick for the side of Influence Rage is that he's able just to sit in the back line. He generally joins the fight later on. The shadow versions of the neutral objectives are up here. It looks like a bit of a gunning fall for the Overlord just to try and get some maintaining here for these lanes. But Kim, there could be a fight on their hands.
Yep, at this point, they do secure it. Vanguard got to take the fall in this fight. And bear in mind, the jungler on the side of Influence Rage is not there. So this was a fight with lesser power on the side of Influence Rage, and they still got a kill. So a Vanguard out of the game for the next 20 seconds.
Yes, but also be able to trade that neutral objective for the Shadow Tyrant. It's not like the side of Influence Rage needed that extra damage, but going into this potential 3v3 here, it could be huge.
Yep, artillery going to be dropped down. Nothing too big at this point. Really just to push them back into the base, right? They want to establish a little bit more control around the map. This will open up more opportunities. 9 Novas does have eyes on 4 different members. He's trying to see if there's an opening for him to make a play, but at this point, I don't think Influence Rage is going to make too big of a mistake. He does not hit the mark. 9 Novas unable to get the catch, gets caught instead. His life is falling low. Here comes the defensive ultimates coming in from Suits, going to try and save them, and with that, butterfly effect as well, going to be placed underneath for the whole team. Here comes the Overlord. Gonna try and slow down this pressure, but it's too much. Influence Rage, they find the opening, they break the tier trees. The base has been opened up. And here we go, artillery gonna be dropped down as well. Flash committed by Suits. What more can they do? The damage is just not enough. 9 Novas jumps in once again, will not survive the fight. A Vanguard, Suits, they fall, and it's Influence Rage as they put their will down. There is no waves just yet, but they get the ace. And Influence Rage influence this match. They take it. Welcome to our first